Thank you for joining us today for our presentation of the MOM Auction Lister. We're going to go over the installation and daily use. There are a number of prerequisites to use the MOM Auction Lister. We've got to be using MOM version 7.10 sequel or later. We've got to have the latest version of the MOM API if we're using MOM version 8. And in either case, we want you on the latest MOM program update. If you are moving from eBay's Blackthorn software, we suggest you complete all your listings in Blackthorn before using the Auction Lister. Blackthorn can go away when those listings are completed. After working with your account rep to acquire the MOM Auction Lister, you'll download the software from our support site. Once the installation is complete, let's open it up by right-clicking and choosing to run as an administrator. To connect the MOM Auction Lister to the MOM database, we have to find our client folder. I will select my MOM Local 8 folder. The Auction Lister configuration utility will ask us for our MOM ID and password. Next, we will be asked to identify the MOM company that we want to use with the Auction Lister. That part of the setup is now complete and the Auction Lister will open. Let's get started by configuring our application settings. From the Application Settings menu, let's click on the Default eBay Settings. Step 1 will be to acquire your eBay user token. To acquire your token, enter your email or user ID and your password and click the Sign In button. Let's click the I agree button on the Terms and Services page. We can see here that our eBay token has been obtained. The next step, step 2, is to click the button to update the eBay categories and shipping services. The message indicates that we are up to date, so we will click OK and move forward. Next, we're going to go back to the Application Settings menu. This time, let's select the Global Settings. On the first tab, we're going to fill out everything to connect to the MOM database. After filling out all of the logon information, click the Test Database Connection button. We have successfully connected to the database. Now let's connect to MOM. The connections are all confirmed, so let's move to the Default Order Settings tab. MOM always wants to have information on certain order settings in case those order values are not found in an import file. The order import will not fail as MOM will revert to your defaults. We would check this box to ensure you're only downloading MOM Auction Lister orders. Let's move now to the Additional Settings tab. The purpose of the Additional Settings tab would be to identify a network location for your images being used by the Auction Lister. Having completed the configuration of the global settings, let's click Save. We have completed our global application settings. Back on the application settings menu, we're going to the default eBay settings option. These settings can be used for new listings and for templates. Now we will move forward by setting up general default settings for new listings and templates. These settings can be overridden by specific settings at a template or item listing level. We will show you how. Unless we are using different settings in a particular listing, the auction lister would look here for default general settings, payment options, default categories, default payment instructions, and a default PayPal email. Once you have filled out all of this information, you would then move to the default shipping options tab. My listings are being set up with flat rate shipping, therefore we do not see the individual shipping services on this page. You have the option to go with actual shipping or flat rate. On the next tab, we would set up our return policy, refund, and warranty information. And on the last tab of the default settings for eBay, we will import our categories. The Mom Auction Lister gives us the ability to set up templates to help speed up the creation of our listings. Let's show you how to manage those templates. I'm going to be selling some guitars on eBay, so I'm setting up listings for guitars and setting up a template for those guitars. I'm going to fill out the required fields on the left side and then move to the right side. Click on the ellipsis, the three-dotted button on the right side, so we can drill down through the selections and choose our category. Here we will click into the drop-down boxes and choose categories and subcategories until we achieve a green status. Once we have achieved that green status for our category and subcategories, we can select it. I'm going to stick with my flat rate shipping options, and let's move on now to show my template payment options. I can also template my refund, return, and warranty policies, and when I have completed that, we will click on Save to save this template. Now that we have installed the auction lister and authenticated to the Mom database, we've also okayed your credentials to connect to Mom. Then we set up eBay templates for your listings. Now let's go manage our listing at the item property level. Notice that when we open up our item settings screen, the search item by drop-down box defaults to the stock number. It's going to show us all of our Mom stock items. I'm not going to be listing all of my Mom stock items. I only want to list a handful of guitars. I've created a product class code in Mom called guitars, so I can filter for those items and bring them up separately from all the other Mom stock items. While I was doing my work, unfortunately, the auction lister software threw an application error. What I did at this time was quit the application and immediately report that error to support. The next time I went to open the auction lister, it informed me that an update was available. After the update, the auction lister opened without error, allowing me to get back to work. Now I'm going to look at the property sheets of that first item by double-clicking it to open it up. The information that we're seeing here, the title and the main description, they come from the auction tab of this product in the MOM system. Let's select an image for this listing. I selected an image that I was comfortable with, but the MOM auction lister tells us that this image is too small for the eBay requirements. I'm going to go look for another image that has a minimum width of 1,000 pixels. This image that I'm highlighting right now says that it is 1200 by 1200, so I'm thinking that it will work. We see that the image has been selected. Let's upload the image. Let's continue looking at the different tabs for this item listing. We'll keep in mind that when we see information already filled out for this item, that came by virtue of us filling out the eBay default template. When you feel you have filled out enough information to publish that item to eBay, you want to confirm that it is ready to go by clicking the Validate Settings button. That item is confirmed, it's available to be published, and we're seeing that it will cost us 60 cents to list that item. Let's click OK. Let's save the settings to this item that we want to list. As we can see, by right-clicking on an item in our item settings list, we can publish directly from this screen. We just showed that we can publish a listing by right-clicking on an item in the Item Edit window. We can also publish our listings by going to the Listings menu and going through the wizard. Step 1 of the bulk listing wizard allows us to make any modification to our default settings. Step 2, we select the items that we want to list. Again, I will filter for my items that have a product class code of guitars. Right now, I do not have any multivariation item to be listed. This page will stay blank. I'm only working with that one item right now, so we will validate and publish that single listing to eBay. A quick visit to my seller page shows that this item has been listed. And here is the item with the image. Let's purchase that item. Let's go back to the auction lister and click on Download New Orders. Notice that the auction lister tells us what MOM order number has been downloaded. The order that was paid for on eBay with a PayPal payment method comes into MOM as a prepaid order with a check payment method, and the check number will have an eBay signature. The order in MOM has been shipped, and the tracking number is available on the Packaging tab. Let's go back to the auction lister to complete this order by updating the tracking numbers. After uploading the tracking numbers, a visit back to the seller page shows us that the tracking numbers have been uploaded for that listing. And once again, we see that tracking number when we look at our buyer details information. We covered a lot of ground today learning about the Mom Auction Lister. Thank you very much for your undivided attention. Today we covered installation and setup of the Mom Auction Lister. We went over the default eBay settings, allowing you to sign in and get your user token. We looked at the global application settings, where you connect to the Mom database, also connect to the Mom system, and set up order defaults. We then set up default eBay settings. We moved on to setting up templates to help speed up the creation of listings, and then we looked at specific item listing properties. We showed two ways to publish a listing. One was from the item property sheet, right-clicking while we're maintaining our item properties, or by going to the Publish menu. And finally, we showed downloading a completed listing, working that order in Mom, and then publishing the tracking numbers back to eBay. Don't hesitate to call your account representative or our support staff with further questions about the Mom Auction Lister. Thank you very much for joining us.